And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again another day, committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions. And we want to help you save some money, save some time when it comes to all these local decisions that you make when it comes to, who should I hire as a realtor, a mortgage professional, a home service provider, all the different home services that we offer, tech experts, self-defense, and so much more. Great attorneys as well associated with the program, CPAs, financial advisors, 813-917-1894. You might want to save that number in your phone. At some point you may need us. Just give us a call. We'll put you in touch with all of our expert contributors. 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice. Right here, local show, daily program, 860 The Answer. We also got a weekend show on FM 102.5 The Bone Sunday mornings. So save our hotline number, 813-917-1894. You used to call me on my cell phone. ConsumerQB.com. You can reach out as well, ConsumerQB.com, or on the website, of course, for real estate related, Platinum MVP Team. .kw.com. And we like to feature our listings here to help our sellers profit more. 5014 Pompano Drive. This is a beautiful waterfront property in Newport Richey. Gulf Harbors, bay access, pool, boat dock. Bring your boat and live that Florida lifestyle to the best potential of doing that. Private boat dock, deep water canal, updated kitchen, granite countertops throughout. 5014 Pompano Drive, Newport Richey, almost 1,700 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, corner lot, huge yard. Check out the size of that yard if you got kids and you want to let the dogs run in the backyard. Private fenced-in backyard, bay access, Gulf Harbors, Florida. And there's also a community with clubhouse, boat ramps, private beach as well. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. This is God's country. And we're going to give a shout out to our sponsor here for this segment. This is going to be for Discovery Golf Cars, longtime friends of the program, Golf Cart Depot, formerly known as Golf Cart Depot, Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They've got new and pre-owned. You can rent or buy, and they also offer financing and mobile repair. Check them out online. DiscoveryGolfCars.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, we got our friend John Long back in studio. John is with the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. Awesome, man. So doing God's work out there, man. You guys are just a great organization. I enjoyed getting to know you guys over the last year or two, and you had your 5th anniversary gala. And what's new, man?
It's definitely been a wild ride, and we're just coming out of January. January is National Human Trafficking Awareness Month, so it has been bananas. We've been traveling the nation, just trying to raise awareness about trafficking. In the last 2 weeks, I trained or talked to 2,500 people just in the last 2 weeks about just raising awareness and making sure people are aware that trafficking is not something that just happens in a third world country. It's not something that just happens at the borders, but it's happening here in our city, and it's happening in our state.
Yeah, that's wow. Have you had involvement in like any kidnapping type scenarios? Or when you said that, it jumped to my mind. I was just listening to one of my books I love is FBI hostage negotiator out of Haiti, and he was just telling that story on another podcast I was listening to. So it jumped to my mind about human trafficking. Have you had any?
When we think about the abduction, we have that Hollywood idea that somebody, it's like the movie Taken, where it's this huge production and someone has moved. But it does happen on a smaller scale. Oftentimes, we've had kids that were abducted from their homes, forced to live in a house somewhere else, forced to be sold over and over again within that community. Wow. And so it's happening, and it's happening to both boys, girls, children, and men. So it's really something that's real, not just something that happens across across the ocean.
And I bet you there's going to be a lot of trafficking around that Los Angeles Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we always know anytime there's a large gathering like the Super Bowl, there's an uptick of human trafficking that happens. There's actually groups of people that travel and follow these big events.
Yep.
And they've got these women and children that they'll sell because they know there's a larger crowd.
Yep.
People are out of town. They're partying. They're having a good time. It's a different atmosphere. They may do things that they might not do in their own backyard.
Yeah.
So we know things like the Super Bowl. We're part of raising awareness with the NFL. We're part of the NFL experience as well. So our name will be present and just helping to spread word. We've worked with law enforcement prior to the Super Bowl going there to make sure that they're trained. And then what do you do if you rescue somebody out of the life? We have to have jobs and homes, and we really got to be able to take care of the victims if they're rescued and not put the victims in jail, which is typically what happens. Yeah,
we're talking with John Long, the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIAHT.org. And it leads you to think too. You look at how the FBI has recently lost credibility again with this recent event that happened, and then you look at how the FBI was involved potentially with Michigan with the plot to kidnap the governor, and then January 6th, the rumors of FBI being involved with that and setting people up. How much are they focusing on politicized and political, trying to favor one party versus really going after the bad guys?
Yeah, you would think, and when we're specifically talking about trafficking, you would think this would be a bipartisan activity, that both sides of the aisle would actually be able to get together and participate in fighting trafficking. But what we find is that the left side of the aisle, this is not on their radar. Human trafficking is not something that typically they're willing to fight. There's not a lot of conversation happening there. We do a lot of work in D.C. and local government, and we find that the right side of the aisle, for some reason, is much more willing and able to help fight trafficking. They're willing to have these conversations. But it really should be a bipartisan. It should be a human rights thing, and not just something that we take and politicize. These are people's lives. These are children, and these are boys and girls. We need to understand that they're people and not some kind of trophy or not something to hold hostage.
Yeah. Well, I think the root of your scenario there that you laid out is that the right side is normally more Christian, or Jewish or religious. They believe in God.
Sure.
The left side is, for the most part, really the latest party is godless. Now a Democrat Party back in the 70s used to be a lot different.
Sure.
People say about JFK, et cetera. I think today he would be completely different person or different party, but. And the thing that you can't ignore is just the blatant disregard for a southern border. They're talking about Ukraine border with Russia right now. Of course, the industrial military complex wants to go to war, and they want to spend billions and make a bunch of money and feed the machine, right? The uniparty in a lot of ways. But this southern border thing is just getting unbelievable. Was it over 2 million people now?
I don't know the exact number, but it is bananas to us how everyone is outraged about Russia right now and that border there, and people have opinions about it. People that have never talked about a border in their life now have an opinion about what we should do over there. But when we look at our own borders, the south border, there was just a case of human smuggling from the north border. They were coming from Canada over. And so we've got to protect our own borders. And we've got to make sure that we're vetting people as they're coming through, that we're taking care of people that need to be taken care of. But then we're holding people accountable that shouldn't be in our country, and I think that's really where there's a gap there.
Yeah, that's right. It's a challenge, especially when you get fentanyl.
Yeah.
You look at the fentanyl coming across the border, record numbers. You look at of course, the human trafficking, the crime, and it's emboldening these cartels. These drug cartels are just multi-million, billion-dollars organizations that are being emboldened now with what the current administration is doing, ignoring the laws that are in place.
Yeah, and if there's no fear that anything's going to happen, then why wouldn't you do it? And the drug trade is the largest criminal activity that we have right now. Second is human trafficking.
Really?
Because human trafficking is a renewable source. If you sell a person, you can sell that person over and over again. If you sell a kilo of something or a pound of something, you've got to transport it, you've got to make it, you've got to sell it. It's dangerous.
Yep.
But when you're selling people, we're not always aware of what that looks like. So you're driving down the street, you've got a few people in your car that you're trafficking.
Yep.
Law enforcement might not know what questions to ask. And so it's a safer criminal activity, and it's much more profitable because they can sell that over and over again.
Yeah, and when it comes to the marijuana, the weed, so to speak, it's not as smellable, right? Doesn't
Right.
put off the aroma.
Right. Yeah. If I got a pound of something in the back seat, law enforcement pretty much knows what's going on.
Right.
If I've got people in the back seat of the car, they might not exactly know what's going on.
And we're talking with John Long here, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. If you want to support the good guys here in Tampa Bay, this is them. USIAHT.org. John Long, longtime friend of the program, been on the show many times. And when we think about this trafficking, part two of this conversation comes into the prosecution side.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you're prosecuting these crimes, talk a little bit about that dynamic and that how that plays out.
The prosecutions we're failing right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people will see Grady Judd, and we'll see some of these sheriffs get on and say, I've got 125 people or 225 people in a sting operation. And when you start following those people, how many of those are actually convicted of the crime? Oftentimes they're moved to a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Since 2019, there's actually what they call a John registry. So if you pay to have sex with somebody, you get arrested, your name goes on there, much like the sex offender registry. Since 2019, there's only one name on there.
Really?
Yeah, just one name.
What?
Yes, and so because they're being reduced, and right now if it gets reduced to a misdemeanor, your name doesn't go on there.
Wow.
And the majority of people are having that happen.
What a loophole. It sounds crazy. It just reminds you of what's happening with these different DAs throughout the country. I know the big one in New York right now, there's the liberal DA that's soft on crime. Baltimore we've talked about.
Yeah.
They want to make prostitution. Oh, well, this is the prostitution. They think it's something like the woman wants to be in that position, and it's almost like a free trade thing, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. They're drugged up. They're shipped around the country. You said sometimes these people are shipped from state to state too. Wake up in hotel room after hotel room.
We've had stories of people that we've helped rescue that were moved from one state. They'd go to bed in one state. They'd be drugged. They'd wake up in a completely different state. And that happens often. It happens with children. It happens with adults.
Yeah.
And that's a way to just keep that person from not building relationships in the community, new clientele. If I move from one area to the next, then I might find new men or new women that are willing to pay. So it turns in from human trafficking sometimes to human smuggling as well.
Wow. Unbelievable. And, some of the key takeaways then for our listeners here in our last couple of minutes, what do you want them to know? How can they get involved? What are some of the ideas you want to share?
Yeah, we're been around now for 5 years. We're a small little organization fighting the big fight, but we want to get the community involved, and it's a grassroots movement to really fight this. We got to fight demand, and so if the community really wants to end this, we've got training on our website. The training is free. It's a 30-minute training on how to identify human trafficking and what to do if you think somebody is being a victim of trafficking. That's one way people can get involved. And again, if we go back to the church, every church in our county, every church in our state should be what we call a trafficking-free zone. And they should educate the congregation on what trafficking is, because it's time for the church to rise up as well and start fighting some of these social injustices.
Amen. In a lot of ways, too, like with the lockdowns, the mass mandates, church should have really took a firmer stance in that, and really rose up. But, I guess 2 years ago, looking back, hindsight's a little bit, as they say, 2020. But I think the church is really, especially some of these mega churches, they're more worried about donors than they are, preaching.
The PR is more important than the word.
That's right. Exactly. So talk a bit about your team, because you've got a great team over there too, and looking for volunteers for events and things like that too.
We're always looking for volunteers. We've got on our website, you can sign up to be a volunteer. You can work in our abolitionist program. We're fighting in D.C. We've got a staff member out in L.A. that's fighting trafficking out there. But we also have very local things that are happening right here in Hillsborough County where people can get involved. Financially, they can donate. We rely heavily on the community to help support us so that we can fight this fight. We operate a safe house. That's the only safe house in the nation dedicated to boys. And so through financial donations, it helps make sure that house keeps running.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Well, John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIAHT.org. Thanks for coming in. Final thoughts? You got a website people want, or a social media platform too, where people can go?
Yeah, everything is USIAHT. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's all of those, and then .org for our website.
Okay.
Just get involved, get trained, talk to your kids, make sure that your community is aware of what trafficking is.
Yeah, definitely. It starts at home. Make sure your kids don't end up in that wrong situation. Well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back here, we got Nick Shriver in the house, Decorating Elves, decoratingelves.com, and we're going to talk about real estate, contractor business, as well, outdoor lighting, and coming up later, we've got Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons, free to serve. Cons Helping Cons as well. We talked about him yesterday with Captain Will Smith on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We love to help our sellers profit more and sell faster, utilizing our innovations with radio, TV, and internet marketing, reaching a worldwide audience here with our show that's syndicated on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, about 80 other outlets worldwide now. So we're real excited about a lot of the growth around the QB show, as well as our quarterback team with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. 4823 Ebb Tide Lane. This is a beautiful condo, a penthouse that we have for sale right here in Tampa Bay. It's unit number 405 in Port Richey. It's on the Cody River, waterfront condo. Beautiful, beautiful property. Great balcony view overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. And it's got a wide open floor plan. Large balcony as well. The penthouse has a large balcony. It's about 30 by 30 or so. It's 1,100 square feet as well. 1 bedroom, 2 bath. Also could easily be converted back to a 2 bedroom right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And we're back here. We got Nick Shriver in the house, Decorating Elves. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Good for coming. Thanks for coming in. So talk a little about the benefits of preventative maintenance, some of the outdoor lighting systems that you have.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware that we do have a preventative maintenance plan available for outdoor lighting systems. And I've come in here many a times before and talked about some of the benefits of outdoor lighting, some of the great things you get away from it, some of your wonderful takeaways. Now, none of those things can really exist in the long term if you don't take care of the lighting system. So big benefit to enjoying all of the benefits is making sure everything's working properly. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's aimed in the right direction. Mm-hmm. It's illuminating. It's just really doing what it's supposed to be doing. So a lot like any other mechanical thing, your car, on your house, your air conditioning, lots of other parts, it needs routine maintenance. It needs to be taken care of. And since it is in the landscape, which is a living, breathing, growing thing, you have to address some of those factors too. So a few of the things we do is we come in, we clear plant material, we make sure all the fixtures are aimed, we make sure they're clean, make sure there's no trash, mulch, leaves, debris on the lenses, make sure that any hard water stains get removed. So those are just some of the simple things that we do. We do a lot of stuff with the transformers. We check the switching mechanisms. We check power on the primary, power on the secondary, make sure the surges are working properly. We check the automation. So we go through a 16-point checklist. As well as do a lot of routine maintenance services to make sure these things are working. So, a lot of people will have somewhere between 20 and 40, sometimes upwards to 100, 120 fixtures in a property, depending on the scope, and sometimes even more. And it's really important that each one of those little items make sure that it gets dressed. And then for those that live in a, closer to salt water, it's really important that we go through and we wipe all those fixtures down at least twice a year and get the salt spray, get the salt air off of them. So even though a lot of, we're installing a high quality brass fixture that has a nice finish that can withhold the salt air and the heat and the humidity, it's still important, and it helps the finish and it helps the fixture's longevity to come through and wipe that salt off. That's a big deal. And some of the other things, the reclaimed water leaves a lot of hard water stains.
Right.
And if it's not reclaimed water that comes out of the sprinklers, a lot of times it's well water, which leaves an iron stain. So, there's these things that happen just in the natural landscape, that happen out in the outdoor environment, that just cause things to wear. So it's really helpful, it's really important, it's really valuable to go through that, and we do offer that as a service. But if we're not doing it for you, it's important that it at least gets done by someone.
Yeah, absolutely. As a homeowner, take pride in what you have and go out there and wipe it down, clear it, and making sure the maintenance, because you're gonna get more mileage out of it, right?
Yeah, and we have plenty of homeowners that are up there in age. They don't work nearly as many hours as some of us in my age group do, and they like to do that on their own.
Right.
They like to go out. They like to spend that time in the landscape, not only taking care of their plants, taking care of their landscape, making sure their home is beautiful, but they add some of those other service pieces in, and that's something that they enjoy. And I think good for them. Great that you're out there doing things you like. But if you're busy and you're a professional and, you have a lot of other services, this is a service that you should have to take care of, some really, really important items that help you extend the hours of your evening.
Yeah. We're talking with Nick Schreiber here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, decoratingelves.com. You can find him online. And you're kind of winding down also from your holiday. I imagine you're getting some of your holiday stuff down.
So we are like one project away from being done with our holiday lighting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have one municipality that we're all unplugged and we're like 80% put away. And we're still kind of sneaking into there. And we're supposed to be done with it by the end of this week. And so, yeah, we're right there. It's quite the monumental task to do all of the lighting that we do now. We're super lucky in our market that we just had our winter. It was 3 or 4 days long.
Yeah, right.
All right. That's kind of a running joke, but for us that live here, we love it. But I got some friends in the other part of the country who are like, yeah, we won't be taking lights down for another month.
Yeah, right.
Right, because we ain't going out in 0. We ain't going out in -5. We're not going out even out, and if it's 8 above.
I don't blame them.
Right, and I don't blame them. So we're very, overly blessed to have wonderful weather here and to have extremely short winters.
Yeah.
If you even call it that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little bit cooler weather, but so you get busy out there putting up the lights during the up and coming holiday or before the holiday season, even getting out there, getting the Christmas lights up and other lights, and then now this is kind of you're winding down, kind of getting them all down.
Well, the interesting part of our season is a lot of people think that we do everything like the week before Thanksgiving, and then we do everything the first week in January as soon as New Year's is over. And the reality is that that's typically when we turn everything on, and then when we turn everything off. What we actually end up doing is we start hanging lights usually the week or 2 weeks after Labor Day, and then we just don't plug them in. We get them up. We start getting everything going, and it's like a 10-week endeavor.
Yeah.
Prior to Thanksgiving to get most of everything that we do up, and then we power it all on. We make it look all good, and then we come back in January. We unplug everything. We take all that stuff that's highly visible down immediately. and then we slowly take everything down after that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got the outdoor, of course, permanent lighting. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next segment. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more with Nick Schreiber here, decorating elves on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And our feel-good story of the day is at age 63, got an avid hiker takes on 1,300-mile Florida trail for the 4th time as our feel-good story of the day. Coming up, follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, and Getter, and then also on YouTube, Brandon Rhymes Realty, and follow our podcast as well on Spotify. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, everyone, stand by, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We always help you win in your real estate deals. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we're a top 1% ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We like to feature our listings live on air. We got a property at 820 Pinellas Avenue in Tarpon Springs. This one just hit the market. Corner lot location, commercial opportunity. It's a corner lot in Tarpon Springs with the walkability to the restaurants, the sponge docks, and everything that Tarpon Springs has to offer there downtown. 820 Pinellas Avenue. You've got 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Could be a single-family home or an office space. Great opportunity here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 820 Pinellas Avenue, Tarpon Springs. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we got Nick Schreiber in the house, decoratingelves.com, decoratingelves.com. So yeah, let's jump into some of the other parts of the business too. We were talking a little bit about the holiday season, and then you also have, of course, the regular outdoor lighting throughout the year.
So yeah, we're primarily an outdoor lighting company, which encompasses holiday lighting, landscape lighting, event lighting, our three primary categories. And so, holiday is usually specific in the fall. We do a lot of Halloween stuff. We do a lot of Christmas stuff. And that's really what we're well known for. Then, we do landscape lighting and outdoor lighting year round. And we talk about that with the 5 benefits. We talk about that just recently with some of the service on that and how that can be maintained. And we do that not only for private residences, we do that for commercial properties, which is super helpful, especially in the hospitality category. And then we also do it for a lot of HOA and condo associations, which is also super helpful because they have people out there that maintenance that and service that when it's not just one individual person that lives on that property, when it's a joint effort. So we do that. And then we do event lighting. And over the years, we've done a lot of events. We've done a lot of parties. And we still do that to a certain degree. For anybody that's looking for like a huge party, that's got some acreage or at a private residence where they're setting up a tent or they're doing some kind of fundraiser, we really help well with that. So, something that maybe they do have some lighting on the house, but they're going to be hosting something and they need a lot of subsidiary lighting and they're not really looking for that big, huge roll-in, rental floodlight with the generator and all that ridiculous stuff. They're looking for something that's attractive, that's ambient, that matches a theme. We do those. So we do that in the event category. And there are some times that we'll do parties, in the Tampa Bay market here. We're always celebrating something. We're always having a good time with something. So, there's always an event to be had. There's always a reason to get out and enjoy the outdoors. And there's always a reason to extend that event into the evening. And so we can help with that. So those are some of the major things that we do. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this. A lot of people are not aware of this. We also do outdoor audio.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And that consists of, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to make our customers throw better parties.
Yeah.
Right? And who doesn't want to throw a better party?
Nothing wrong with that.
Right? And who doesn't want to have more enjoyment? So one of the reasons we help them throw a better party is not just by having the lighting, by getting to use the outdoor space, by creating a better, more enjoyable outdoor room with the lighting piece. We're adding the audio in there. And there's kind of a new take on outdoor audio. And when I was young, we used to get these big monumental speakers, right? And we would just plug 2 of them in. We would turn up the volume and we would crank it, right? Mm-hmm. And I was a bit of a rocker, so I used to crank it extra loud and I loved it, right? And if you were standing in front of the speaker, all you would hear is the speaker. You couldn't talk to your friend, right? But if you were, 50 feet away and you were at the same party, you could have a conversation. So that was great, in the conversational tone. But now that I've aged a little bit, I really am looking more for that conversational tone where I'm enjoying the music, but I can also conversate with my friends, with my family, with those of my guests.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And so what we've done differently is we've basically taken that huge speaker and broken it up into small little increments.
Yeah.
So now we have what we call these satellite speakers, and we take them and we spread them throughout the outdoor room, in different areas. So they're smaller. Sometimes it's groups of 4, sometimes it's groups of 8 or 16. It's usually a multiplier of 4. And that has to do with the math and the ohms, and I'm not going to get into that, but it has to do with the back end and how we power it. And then we'll have a sub that usually gets buried or hidden in the landscape, okay? And then a player that has to be somewhere around where, either near your TVs or near your other audio type equipment.
Right.
And so we're doing that. And a lot of times in the landscape in that outdoor room, if you're out there on any average afternoon, you have no idea that the audio is even there. So I have one of my clients that he loves this hippie bongo drum with these birds that make this chirp noise. And literally, he's got this gorgeous landscape. It's really awesome. It's really tropical.
Yeah.
And he plays this music during the afternoon in his he calls it the tree palace. It's amazing. And it's super cool because when you're out there, you feel like you're in the jungle. Yeah. You feel like you're in this Costa Rican rainforest.
Yeah.
And it's super cool. And you don't even know where it's coming from. You really can't see. Now, obviously, we know because we know exactly where to look for and what to look for. But it's buried. And so as you move through that landscape and through that room, the audio is very close and it's very specific so that you can hear it. And so as you move from one spot to the next, the audio stays at the same output the same level. So if you're right next to the door or next to the house where the speakers used to be mounted, it's at that tone. And if you move 50 feet away, it's at the same tone. So we do that by not, like I said, we do it from taking a couple of large, huge speakers that traditionally we would have mounted on the property, or on the pole, or against the house or something, that would just blast sound out into the landscape.
Yeah.
And not just out in the landscape, but into the neighbors and everywhere else. And we've broken that into smaller satellite units, and then we spread that throughout the landscape. So you're really not even hearing sound anywhere that you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
So you're not blowing the neighbors out. You're not blowing in the backyard out. And if you want to have a conversation with your neighbor or with your guests, you can do that. And you don't have to worry about having to overspeak or move or any of those features. So outdoor lighting is super great in that matter. That's what we do. We do offer a free system design for anybody that would want that. And when we do offer that free design, a lot of times we will do that demo if that's something that they want to move forward with and they want to hear it. Because it's really, most people want to hear it, and we got no problem playing it. We're going to play some of my favorite songs, some songs that have some great highs, got some great lows, got some great singers, got some great guitar, some great drums. So we're going to kind of run through the gamut and really let you guys have the experience.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Nick Shriver here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, Decorating Elves. You can find them online, decoratingelves.com. Reach out to the hotline also if you'd like to take them up on that free design offer, 813-917-1894. Just call or text the hotline, 813-917-1894. We'll put you in touch with Nick Shriver as well, and he can come out and kind of give you an overview of what the folks can do in their backyard or wherever they're going to place that. What's the best social sites and place for folks to find you?
So www.decoratingelves.com, that's decoratingelves.com, is the best place to find us. And not only that, we've got a ton of data there that says, 1 goes into the audio, 2 goes into our lighting, a lot of our techniques, a lot of our benefits, the reason for maintenance, and something that a lot of people overlook is we have how to program our automation timers on there too. So sometimes when people forget how to do that, or they have one that matches, we have all that data right there. So www.decoratingelves.com, as well as 1-800-MY-LIGHTS. That's 1-800-MYLITES. 1-800-MY-LIGHTS, and then Decorating Elves on Facebook, and then obviously Nick Shriver on Facebook for me personally. And so that's the best places to find us.
Yeah, I like it, man. Good stuff. And I thoroughly enjoy our lighting that you put at our home and hooked us up with. It looks great, and really excited about the pool that's finishing up. We're getting a pool finished up back there now, so that's going to be fun. Have some when the weather turns nice here, have some nice networking parties and events back there and show off some of that lighting too.
I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're looking forward to that.
Can't wait. Yeah, exactly. You got irrigation going in and sod going in and all that good stuff. So it'll be nice when that project's done.
Yes.
So.
I've went through that project and I see it all the time.
Yeah.
And I know the most relaxing, the best feeling is when you got that water.
Yeah.
They start putting that water in and it starts filling up inch by inch by inch by inch. Ooh.
Yep. Last night.
Yeah. So that's a really good feeling.
Getting close.
And you're very close to putting your toes in it.
And our dogs can't wait to run in that backyard. We got a fenced-in backyard now, so they'll be running crazy. So Charlie and Carter are going crazy back there. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. All right, folks, reach out, decoratingelves.com, and continue to support the Consumer Quarterback Show. We greatly appreciate you. When we come back, we got our feel-good story of the day. 63-year-old avid hiker taking on a 1,300-mile Florida trail for the 4th time. Also, Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. You can find Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons, coming up right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Ward Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Looking for a venue to host your next business or family event? Make it Largo Event Center. The Consumer Quarterback Show has used the Largo Event Center, and the hall and service you get is fantastic. Over 8,500 square feet of meeting space, perfect for events, expos, and trade shows. Upstairs offers space for smaller meetings and groups to include use of their lounge and game room. Plenty of room outside for car shows or food truck events and concerts. Largo Event Center is just west of US 19 on 126th Avenue. For booking and details, visit largoeventcenter.com. That's largoeventcenter.com. Or call Guy at 727-776-3442.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. We love to work with sellers, buyers, and investors right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. We got a hot listing at 13335 County Line Road. This is a commercial property available that we have in Spring Hill. It's a 5-acre parcel of land, MOL, 5 acres MOL at 13335 County Line Road in Spring Hill. This great opportunity here for the previous contract had just recently fell out, but they were going to put in the self-storage facility. So self-storage, some of the hottest sectors, in my opinion, are like boutique hotels, assisted living facilities. Storage is really big, but this is a great opportunity for one of our commercial properties, 5 acres. It's commercial zoned at 13335 County Line Road in Spring Hill. It's got great access close to the Publix shopping plaza as well at the Villages of Avalon. We've got another property at 4214 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a dry cleaner that's available at 4214 North Nebraska Avenue right here in Tampa Bay. North Nebraska Avenue dry cleaner. So you've got the real estate corner lot and the building, and of course all of the equipment as well. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we've got our feel-good story of the day. Every day we like to tell you something positive here in our feel-good story.
Tell me something good.
All right, so at age 63, you got a hiker going 1,300-mile trail, hiking this trail for the 4th time, and it's just a few weeks ago she started. Amanda Hoos was preparing to set out on a uniquely Florida adventure, and it goes from Big Cypress Preserve down in the Everglades up to Pensacola, she said, describing the trail. It's one of 11 national scenic trails in the United States. The 63-year-old is making that 1,300-mile trek for the 4th time, and she says she doesn't hike it like most people. She focuses on one section at a time, perhaps over a period of several days. She hikes through the Florida Trail, and she says she starts the beginning of one day, just basically keeps walking to the same time of year until she gets to the end. And she says the last time it took about 2.5 months. And she carries with the backpack, she says, a small tent, air mattress, and occasionally takes a day off to check into a motel and rest and do laundry. And she said it's just one foot in front of the other for 1,300 miles in a row. You get up and you hike, and then you do it again the next day. So she said it makes her feel like it's important in her world, in her life. And she said it's about 340 miles east of Orlando last time they checked on her. So interesting, yeah. Must be nice to be able to do that as well, not have to work, and But hey, retirement age, do what you want to do, and that sounds like a fun trip. That Big Cypress Preserve down there is pretty cool. I used to do a lot of hunting and fishing down there, close to the Everglades and Chuckaluskee and all those areas. So it's some really cool country down there. So every now and then you see a lot of gators, of course, but every now and then you see a panther, a Florida panther, and some other wildlife. So really cool to see that. We're bringing in Thomas Yunk now, Cons Helping Cons, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Thomas.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon to you. And yeah, we were talking about you a little bit yesterday on the show with Captain Will Smith. We had Captain Will Smith in studio. We always talk about your program and how you're helping to reduce the recidivism rate.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, actually, what we do is we help people when they get out of prison. We find them a job, find them a place to live, and mentor them. And so far, we've helped over now 1,350 people in the last 8 years. And only 5 have gone back to prison.
Wow.
So we seem to have found the key. I think the key is the mentorship.
The key is the mentorship. Yeah, mentorship is such a key part of life in general, and mentorship, and it's a unique dynamic as well. As you said, with people coming out of prison, they don't want to hear it from somebody who is maybe from the church, for example, and they're saying, "Oh, you got to get right with God," etc. They want to hear it from somebody who's walked a mile in their shoes.
Exactly. But that's with anything, really. I found out the same thing with veterans. Veterans would rather work with veterans. It's the same concept.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense too. And your nonprofit organization, Cons Helping Cons. You are on Facebook, Free to Serve, right? Cons Helping Cons, Free to Serve.
Yes.
So folks can find you there. Now, you talk a little bit about how you worked with Captain Will Smith over the years.
Actually, he and I met during a meeting trying to set up a reentry program in Pasco County. As a matter of fact, we had another meeting this morning. All that's done through Zoom. And we just hit it off. We noticed that we had a common denominator. And so we decided to work together. And, of course, when 2 chords are always stronger than 1. So we're making some great progress. I utilize the books that he has written when I'm mentoring my guys. And, I mean, it's a great partnership.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it. And the cause is such a great cause. We just had on the front end of this show, we had John Long from the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking and just some of the good work that he's doing. And, guys like you and him and working in this nonprofit world and doing so much good out there, man, it just seems like you're doing God's work.
Well, I feel I'm led to go, and I try to follow his lead. So,
yeah. Give us a success story. Tell us about, I'm sure you got some really neat stories over the years. Can you give us some success stories or give us kind of paint that picture of how this works, how this plays out?
To me, the perfect success story, and I've seen this happen now, well, hundreds of times now. A guy gets out, he has nothing, and he gets back on his feet. He gets a job. He finds himself a partner, ends up getting married, buys a house. And he becomes a tax-paying citizen. To me, that's the ultimate success story. They've gone from having nothing, being in prison, to living the white picket fence American life. And we've got over hundreds of those examples.
Yeah, and they come out and they're hungry, right? I mean, they're hungry to get back into that and to prove themselves. I bet you there's a part of a redemption, kind of a redemption story inside each one of them. They come out with that hunger to prove to their mom or their uncle or whoever it was, ex-girlfriend, whoever they're proving it to, like, hey, this is what I can make of myself.
You are absolutely right about that. And I'll tell you, that's part of the problem. If they don't have somebody to kind of help them get over that little hump there of getting a job or getting a place to live, if they have enough people tell them right in the beginning that, hey, we don't want anything to do with you because you're an ex-con, that fire goes out very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got to give them second chances, and you got some relationships. I think that's such a cool part of the program. You've got relationships with people that will both house some of these folks and also employ some of them.
Oh, I've got people that want to employ our people now, just because they've discovered that. Talking about that hunger, when these women and men get out, they want to work. And then sometimes, they have to because they're on parole or probation, but they want to work because they want to get ahead. They are tired of being without money, and they're tired of being without possessions. They want to get ahead again.
Yeah, and we're talking with Thomas Young here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. He is a leader of a nonprofit, Cons Helping Cons. And Thomas, you look out there at the national landscape and you see some of these soft on crime DAs not prosecuting certain people for political favors, etc. And then you see the other side of that. What's your take overall on the justice system in general, and then also in Florida, the Florida justice system?
It's fun. You and I didn't talk before this discussion we're having right now, and so this must be a God-inspired moment. Yesterday I was in court with one of our Cons Helping Cons guys, and it was so maddening. This was our second time in court on this one situation, and the public defender came in, and it was a different person than we talked to the first time. And I wanted to be able to talk strategy with the public defender.
Mm-hmm.
She got in there just at the last minute, never opened up his file until she was sitting down.
Wow.
She didn't even know what he was there for, so she's flying by the seat of her pants.
Mm.
Then we've got the prosecutor engaging in bad faith negotiation, upping the amount of time they're offering my friend instead of going down, because usually you offer them the most time on the first go-round, and then you keep going down until you get them to accept something.
Yeah.
They did just the opposite. They went up. And then on top of this, the judge was sarcastic.
Wow.
The judge made the remark, well, it looks like you've only ever not been in trouble when you've been in prison. And I'm like, wow, what is going on here?
What a jerk.
I mean, it was just so disheartening. And actually, I explained all this on Facebook last night, so if people want to go to Facebook, they can read the whole story here. But something has got to change in our judicial system. It's so unfair. Yeah, and like I told my friend that I was there with, and everybody who's in Cons is my friend, I explained to him, if we could have afforded an attorney, that would have been a whole different situation. Yeah. And so I've heard that remark several times. Justice, the best justice is the justice you can buy.
Right.
And it's a shame.
It is. Yeah, that's why you see, like that movie Wolf of Wall Street. He had all these millions of dollars he made, and then, he got preferential treatment, I believe, from the FBI and the way that movie played out. And I've heard, and now he's in sales and he's doing the sales thing. But a lot of the blue collar crime versus the white collar crime, if you got money, you can defend yourself. You're going to be in a much better situation than some of these poor, these folks that are on the other side of that spectrum.
You're asking about what my thoughts are on these people that are deemed to be soft on crime or hard on convicts.
Yeah, we got 30 seconds.
My thought is, let me work with those guys because I will help make them into productive citizens. And I tell you, Cons makes our society safer by turning those hardened criminals into tax-paying citizens.
Exactly.
Let me have them.
Yeah, and then they got something to lose. They're building themselves back up. They're buying a home. They're getting back into paying taxes, and it's
a whole different mindset.
That's right, different mindset, getting them back into it. So yeah, we just need a little bit of some more of these words to reverberate throughout the community, throughout the universe. So please like and share this program. Share it with folks that you know. Thanks again, Thomas. Appreciate you calling in. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. Check them out online. And please share this show. Get it out there to your network. Let people know about the good work that we're doing right here in Tampa Bay. We'd love to hear the feedback from you. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.